Welcome to the Coaches Show here at Glenville State College, here in the athletic department. Today we have head coach of track and field and cross country, Coach Dan Meyers. Thanks for being with us today, Coach.
Thank you, Coach.
Well, Coach, got a lot of things to talk about here. We're within 2 weeks of the conference championships, and I know you're looking to have some runners running up at regionals as well. But I'm going to start. You've been on the job here for a couple months. This is your third head coaching job, and I know there's positives everywhere. Certainly, you had with your alma mater back at Wesleyan, and you were in a good situation up at Salem. Had some administrative duties as well with with Coach Potts up there. What makes Glenville State College, what makes this job so special for you?
I think that being back in the Mountain East Conference is definitely like a big plus. I would also say that the facilities and the infrastructure here, I think, allows us to be very competitive, and I think that there's already just a great bunch of kids here, with the program, and I think overall that the family feel on campus and the community involvement, I think can take us to the next level. And I think that's the really exciting part about Glenville State.
Well, I'll tell you, early on, certainly the men's cross, the running sports, that is the one area is probably by far the deepest of of all the running sports, and you've got a group that's been in there mixing it up. Really looks like that they could potentially be middle of the pack in the league. Bryce Gerald's had put up some tremendous races early, and the gap's been tightening up in the group. What can you say about that group?
They've been working very hard, and I think today was like our last big workout before conference. As you always said, the hay's kind of in the barn, and we had a big fartlek out on the golf course today, and I think that I kind of came to fruition today when I'm like from the start back in August, they've never questioned anything. They've just kind of put their head down and just kept moving with things. And I think that we do need to tighten up the gap a little bit on the guys' side, but I think overall, I think that each meet we've gotten a little bit closer to the end goal. I just think that we've got to stay healthy in these next 10 days and kind of see how things kind of play out.
Yeah. Well, what on the women's side, I know it was putting the team together was a big thing with the focus in the summer, and we've had a full unit, all the meets, and John V. Duncan has ran some good races. Sam Dawson has stepped up and improved as a runner. Just the progression with that group.
I think that that can't be overlooked how hard they've worked as well. We've been racing about 6 girls every meet, and I think that we have John V and Sam who are kind of in a different ballpark mileage-wise that are very distance-focused people. Olivia Younger and Rachel Ferris, started out the first few weeks only running a few miles and have been between 25 and 30 miles a week, and some of our upper echelon, and they're new to the sport, and they're doing a very good job at it. And I think that you add in Alyssa Woods and Lexi Sirk that are a little bit more of a track focus, but every single meet that they've their leadership has just made a huge impact on the team, and I think that the spirits are high and they understand what I want out of each of them, and I think that it can't be overlooked how much Sam Dawson's improved.
Yeah.
From
no doubt.
This summer to now, and even from last year. She's doing workouts that she couldn't even do 2 months ago in the full volume scale of things, and she's closing the gap to John V, which is really exciting for us.
You mentioned the volume, what some of the individuals have done there, and the men back to the men on the move they made, and I know you've had some guys up there, some of that top group getting up 65 or 70 miles a week, and I know that's not the volume of what they're doing at Charleston or D&E and West Lib and those groups right now, but in Concord, obviously, with all the national teams that Coach Cox has had there, but it is a big step, from where they've been volume-wise and how they've handled that physically from your point of view.
I think that they've done a really good job of listening to their body, not just from a maybe needing to do a bike or elliptical or a double day and kind of get the legs shaken out. I think they've listened to their bodies of when they get after a hard week on Monday. They feel good, they're going fast. If not, they're hanging back a little bit. I think they've done a good job of, I've reiterated that a lot, just kind of go off how your body feels and the miles will come. And I think that all of them have done a good job. And I think the nice part is, like, I don't want to look ahead too much, but I think a lot of them have realized how much easier it's going to be when, we take off a few weeks and come back for track season. How many, even how much further we can even get the volume this, this winter into spring, especially with some of them, focusing on the steeple and up. So I think they're really excited to keep moving it forward because they know a year or two of this and they're going to see some big results.
Absolutely. I tell you, going back, and you had to hear, back when you were running and coaching about Glen, always referred to Glenville as the center of the universe.
Yep.
And when our bus would swing by there on Route 79, we'd say, we need to take our shoes off. We're going by the promised land here, Now you're here. And we've talked so much about, about the history and all the championships that were won here from the early 80s up through the mid 90s. About, last year the men, came up to third in the league. And I know a big step that you're talking about is hopefully, getting those men within the top 15 in the region. About the possibility of that happening and what that could lay the groundwork for.
Just kind of hit off what you said. I think that, when I came here and was going through the interview process and everything, and it reminded me of all the times that we were being in vans or buses and heading to Glenville, back at Wesleyan, and I just always felt something different when we'd be on the way to Glenville than I did other places. And I don't know if that was kind of your tie to Glenville or just really just kind of, that windy road going off the interstate and kind of always, getting here into a really nice facility and just a great atmosphere. But I think that, what the guys team did last year can kind of show what the program can do as a whole. And I think that really has lit a fire under the cross-country guys to be like, we can be an upper echelon team. We've seen it done on the track side. And, that's kind of what I've sold in the recruiting so far on the girls side, because the girls team in, 2019 had a lot of strong girls, and they were an upper echelon team. And I think that it shows that it can be done here. And we just need to sustain it and keep the momentum moving forward on all sides of the program.
Absolutely. Tell you what I'll leave you with is looking forward is, from the recruiting front. I know you've had a lot of kids on campus and really pushing that envelope. What are some of the goals you're looking to get out of your first, recruiting class, your first full year of recruiting here?
I would like to, specifically on the women's side, get in a bunch of girls that can, handle some higher volume or work up to some higher volume and, give us, so we're not stretched so thin, and, help us have a few different packs on the women's cross-country side, kind of like we have on the men's side right now. Obviously, helping to bring in some guys helping tighten up the pack there. But I think, a big thing I said to the team when I got here was I don't want to, I don't want to hurt anything that's working. I just want to fix some things that might be broke. And one thing that's working is the throws and the vault. Those are two big areas that with Coach Devin and Coach Logan that are obviously working. You want to kind of keep feeding the monster, if you will, on those two ends. And I think that always, with that success, we'll have some successful hurdlers and sprinters, and we need to improve the depth there. But I think feeding the monster on those two sides in some areas that we've proven we can score points, and we tighten up everything else, we can be pretty dangerous. And I think once the girls team gets some more depth as well, I think it can be built the same way.
Absolutely. Well, tell you what, we really enjoyed having you here this morning and taking the time. I know you're busy and you're on a lot of things here right now, but we'll get back together after conference and talk about something going into regionals.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you all.